So when we left you guys, we were talking about the Nets and the Atlanta Hawks and Dwight Howard and pretty much everything the Nets are doing to stack their team. And pretty much they made a huge trade in principle yesterday with the Atlanta Hawks to get Joe Johnson. And the Hawks in exchange are getting, let's see, Anthony Martel, who actually had a pretty good season last year for the Nets. This guy is a, how do I explain this? He's pretty much a young guard slash forward type swingman who has a lot of potential. And it's one of those things where based on his team and how hard he's willing to work, will determine really what he's able to do. What he turns into and all, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, how much he applies himself will determine how far he really can take his NBA career.
Absolutely.
How well he fits with the Hawks, not really too sure on that one. Jordan Williams, don't really know much about him. Jordan Farmar, most of us have seen him play before.
Yeah, he was with the Lakers, now with the Nets. I mean, like, why would the Hawks even want him? He's a backup player at best. He's not even a starter.
You know, actually, the funny thing is I thought the same thing because of how deep I feel like the Atlanta Hawks are at, what do you call it, at point guard. They have some really talented guys at point guard. I'm actually going to...
You think maybe they're just trying to get more chips and they're going to make another trade themselves, possibly get somebody?
I think that's the idea behind it, yes. But, oh, wow. See, yeah, they've already... ESPN already has their roster edited for the most part. You got Jeff Teague playing point guard, who's pretty good. And I wish I could remember the rest of the team, but they're not showing it to me. That stinks. Sorry.
It's all good.
I thought I'd be able to find that one. But anyway, here you go. Now I got it.
All right, Dave. There you go.
They have Janetto Pago, who is a decent point guard as well. Nothing special. Like, these guys aren't taking over games, but Pargo can run an offense. You know what I mean? So you pretty much have two of the same player now. Between Pargo and Farmar. Same idea.
Same idea.
You just don't see Atlanta as much as you get to watch LA when Farmar was there. But same pretty much player. Not really, you know, I actually would probably take Farmar over this kid, Pargo, but they're pretty much very similar players when it really comes down to it. Johan Petro, I've never even heard of before. So I don't know what that says about him. But like I said, Atlanta's not a huge market team when it comes down to national coverage. So you don't really get a chance to see them play that often except for when they hit the playoffs. I mean, if you really think about it. And then you got, who else do we got? Deshaun Stevenson. Now this guy, he's the guy with the Abraham Lincoln tattoo on his neck.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's Deshaun Stevenson for those of you that don't know. But he's a swingman role player. That's all he is. He's not a starter. He's not anybody that's going to take over a game for you. Hit a couple jump shots, but I wouldn't, like, playoff time came, I wouldn't rely on him to kick the ball out to take a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have that much faith in him as the guy to take a shot for me. And then also the Rockets 2013 first-round draft pick, which is lottery protected. We talked about this the other day. Pretty much what that means is if the draft pick ends up in the lottery, the Rockets get to keep it. So that means they would have to wait another year to get the draft pick, which is sort of dumb to me. Not to really go off topic here, but why take a first-round pick from a team
if it's lottery protected?
Now, I'm not saying don't take the first-round pick anyway. Like, I mean, obviously a first-round pick is still a first-round pick. But the NBA is not like the NFL, okay? You don't even know your top 10 guys are guaranteed to be great. You know what I mean? Where you look at the top 10 draft picks in the NFL and expect at least half of them to have 6 to 10 year careers.
Okay.
You expect it. Now, is it going to happen every year?
You never know.
Exactly. You never know. It's football. It's sports. Injuries are going to happen. This happens. Whatever. But there's more confidence, I feel like, in football in the first round because you're like, all right, this guy I can plug in here or I can plug in here. There's a role and a scenario that we always can find for this guy in the first round. That's, in my opinion, why you take a guy in the first round.
And also, I feel like a rookie can have a bigger impact in the NFL than necessarily in the NBA.
Yeah, because in the NBA, some of these guys still are too small.
Yep.
I mean, some of these guys hit their growth spurts
while they're
like shoot up 2-3 inches after they're drafted to an NBA team.
That could happen to Anthony Davis still.
Yeah.
He's only 19 years old.
That's what I mean. So it's like who, by the way, got injured, and we'll discuss that.
Yeah.
All the little red flags people had on him. Well, apparently some of them are true. But anyway, so like Pixel Junkie pointed out for us, Jeremy in the chat room, what's up, man? Pixel pointed it out for us before. This is very similar to what the Knicks did to get Melo. Very, very similar. You dump a whole bunch of guys to get one guy.
Yeah.
Joe Johnson to me is no Melo. I would take Melo over Joe Johnson.
I would take Melo over Joe Johnson as well.
But I also would take the players that the Knicks traded away over the players the Nets just traded away. So
very true too.
It's very interesting, but
and you got to think though, if you're the Nets, you're trying to sell this franchise as we're trying to be relevant. So why not trade all those guys for an all-star? Because the fans pretty much put it on a pedestal like, how many players do I know on that team? Are they worthy for me to go see? And then moving to Brooklyn, they have, you know what? They might be better off with 4 all-stars on their team with nobody else. Just because those 4 big names.
Hey, Commissioner, we're just gonna rock the 4 guys. No. All right, we're gonna play 4 on 5. We don't need bench players. They're all in their mid-20s. They got energy. You know what? Dwight Howard counts as 2 guys anyway because he's pretty much gonna suck up the middle for us.
You know what I meant, though.
No, I know, but
think about it. This net organization franchise, they were freaking terrible here in New Jersey. Could barely sell out the finals when they went against the Lakers and the Spurs 10 years ago, bro. So, yeah, you need to shake up the entire team to bring relevance there. And if you're getting a debate now as to which team is better, the Knicks or the Nets, good for the Nets. Good for Brooklyn, because now people are going to be intrigued. They're going to want to see the Nets. They're going to want to see what Gerald Wallace, Joe Johnson, and possibly what Darren Williams and Dwight Howard can bring to the table for this team.
And I also think some of these moves are being made to convince Darren Williams and Dwight. Dwight put his cards on the table.
Yes.
So, you know what? The Nets blatantly sat there and said, well, we now know this is where you want to be. So now we're going to worry about convincing somebody else to get here.
Absolutely.
So, you know what? This is more for Darren Williams, in my opinion, because they did this during the day while Darren Williams was meeting with the Dallas Mavericks yesterday. So Darren Williams gets out of his meeting with the Mavericks, heads to go meet with the Nets, and while he's doing that, it's probably listening to the news like, oh, wow, they did this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, they did that?
Darren Williams actually met with both teams yesterday.
Yeah.
Met with the Nets and the Mavericks. And I'm not going to front. If I'm the Nets, you're saying to Darren Williams, hey, bro, we just made a big trade for Joe Johnson. We have now, with you back in the backcourt, we have 2 all-stars in the backcourt. We have Gerald Wallace, and we're also talking about bringing Dwight here. To me, that seems like a no-brainer for Darren Williams to sign. And I don't think he'll be able to get the same money that Dallas could offer him that the Nets could. Is that true? Because I know the NBA is weird like that.
You know what? Honestly, with the new CBA, I don't understand any. Like they're talking about this early bird stuff right now that's going on.
I don't know what that is either.
I have not the slightest clue what they changed, because the NBA was really weird about their luxury tax.
Correct.
You could go like $20 million over the cap.
Well, now
and
I know
pay the same amount as somebody $5 million.
I now know it's $1 for $1. You have to match it if you go over the luxury.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But if you have a billionaire owner in Prokhorov,
who don't care,
what's $30 million to him? $30 million to him is $30 to me. I will pay $1 for $1 to put the most dominant team on the floor.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Because if he wins championships, he makes back his money.
Absolutely.
Not even win. Get there. Just as the Nets. You get there in your first 2-3 years in Brooklyn.
It's a
forget
success.
it, dude.
Success.
The Nets fans that live in Jersey that got mad at you and said I'm not rooting for you anymore, they're gonna come right back. They're gonna be like, oh well, I've always been a Nets fan. I just took some time away.
Yep, that's exactly how everyone's gonna be, dude.
Seriously.
But yeah, the Nets are rolling deep with pockets with Prokhorov running for president in Russia. You got Jay-Z, who's worth $500 million. Why not just go balls out and get who you can? Why not? I'd trade my entire team to try and get 4 legitimate all-stars and then get veteran minimums on the team.
Yeah,
that's what the Heat did.
I'm not mad at the Nets. Not mad at them all. Other than being a Bulls fan, like I put in the chat, as a Bulls fan, the Nets execute every little thing that they're talking about right now. I literally just watched my team drop to the 3rd, possibly even the 4th best team in the East.
That's true.
And that's the East. I'm not even saying the league, like the East. Like, that's scary to think about.
You got to think about that too, though. The East is in a little bit of shambles. Atlanta is, I can't say rebuilding, but giving up Joe Johnson means they're trying to take a step back. All right, they're taking a step back for a year or two. Orlando, they're in shambles right now. Obviously, their superstar doesn't want to be there, so they're in a little bit of a flux. Boston, you don't know what you're gonna get from Boston because if Ray Allen comes back, I still think they can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals with that team, especially getting Solinger and Fab Melo in the draft. I think that just adds to their team. I think that it kind of makes them like the Spurs a little bit, where they're so deep where you can rock 10 a night.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. That, no question about that. That's a definite possibility.
You got the Knicks. The Knicks who are looking all right.
The Knicks could turn into a really good team with Woodson having control for a whole year.
Philadelphia, who made it to the playoffs, who played great defense under Doug Collins. I mean, your Bulls might actually be a 7th seed next year, bro.
It really depends. I mean, I actually have... there's a lot of different things going on with the basketball, but I want to keep going on the Nets for right now. Darren Williams, like we said, met with both the Mavericks and Nets yesterday, and a lot of people expect him to make up his decision no later than Wednesday, but a lot of people expect it to happen today. So we shall see with that. Like Joey mentioned, they already signed Joe Wallace. They went 22-44 last year. So my question is, if they get all these moves done, what would be your guess? And keep in mind, they're not playing 66 next year. They're playing 82 again. So you're adding another 16 games on top of that 22-44. So what's your guess? Just a guess on a record.
50 wins.
50 wins?
50-32, make the playoffs.
50-32, make
just
the playoffs.
Because if you... Are we saying just Gerald Wallace, Darren Williams, and Joe Johnson?
No, I'm saying though, everything we think is going to happen.
Dwight?
Yeah.
Minimum 50 wins, could get up to 60, just for the simple fact that they're not going to have a bench or anything like that. But with those 4 main players, there's no reason not to win a minimum 50 games. No reason.
Pixel's got him at 55. I got him at like right in that same window. I think that if they're able to pull all this stuff out, you got 3rd or 4th seed, Pixel. Who do you think's going to take the 2? I'm very interested because we all expect Miami, obviously, to take the 1. Pixel Junkie in the chat room, for everybody out there that's listening through the app, is contributing to our Nets conversation, and he thinks that they will pull either the 3rd or 4th seed. So I'm curious to know who he has as his number 2. The Pacers. Okay. See, to me, the Pacers don't get the number 2 unless they keep Roy Hibbert. If they can't keep Roy Hibbert, that's a huge rip out of that team.
Oh, completely agree.
Yeah,
completely.
I mean,
if Hibbert decides to take that contract with the Blazers, wow, that's a huge loss for Indiana.
That part's already done. Now the Pacers have today and maybe tomorrow to match that contract. If they don't, he goes to Portland. So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to, but they'll keep Roy. Brandon, I'm confused.
Brandon
Roy's a free agent who technically retired.
Yeah, but he's trying to make a comeback.
Yeah, the Bulls contacted him. He's a free agent, though. He's not, I think he's under contract with the Blazers still and for like another 3-4 years. Oh, okay. Well, there's teams that are getting in touch with him trying to sign him.
They might be able to trade him or something like that.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, see, I mean, I'm trying to think, Brandon Roy, that's the thing. He retired, before last season because of chronic knee problems. Like they said that the material, the tendons and the bone and everything in his knees was deteriorating faster than the average person. So basketball was making it even worse. Hence, by the time the guy's like 40, he's going to need knee replacements. And that shouldn't happen to somebody.
No.
That's too young. I actually knew somebody that had that happen, and she was in her early 40s as well. But it's not fun.
Who do you know?
This a regular.
Okay.
A couple.
I'm thinking it's like a friend.
No, a couple that's regulars at the Frog of mine. They, the wife of the family, she had to get both knees replaced, and she can't be more than 43, 44 years old.
True.
If that, probably younger, to be honest. But
Damn.
I see. I'm with you, Pixel. I wouldn't play. Roy to me would be how the Nationals want to treat Strasburg. It would be a count.
Yeah, you gotta
it
count
would
his
be.
minutes.
I would talk with doctors. I'd be like, what do you think is good? Can we, out of a 2-hour practice, can he practice an hour? Or do walkthroughs with us throughout the practice. In a game, it's, you're talking a 48-minute game. Can we have him play 20? Can we have him play 15? Like, what's good for him so that he can last through the year and we're not tearing his body down in a matter of a couple years? I mean, the kid's 26 years old. He's not...
Nah, he's not old.
He's not far from old. I mean, come on. I'm only 27, and I'm young. Let it be known. So...
Damn, we're already 40 past
yeah,
the
I know.
hour.
All right, so real quick, let me just read you the Nets roster, and we'll move past this.
No, I actually don't mind talking about this because I actually want to get into a little Nick talk, too, if we could afterwards.
Okay. Marshawn Brooks, guard. Ilkin Karaman, power forward. No idea.
Who the hell is that?
Oh, it gets better. Tornik Shengelia, another
What?
forward. This is the Nets roster right now.
You sure this isn't like their D team?
No, this is their roster.
This is their roster.
Tyshawn Taylor, the rookie that I think they just drafted this year. Jordan Williams, and Joe Johnson.
Okay, wow.
That's their roster right now.
Well,
they have to sign and trade. They're expected to sign and trade Brooke Lopez and Chris Humphries. The sign and trade for both of them would be to Orlando for Dwight Howard.
With 3 first-round picks.
Along with 3 first-round picks, 2013, 15, and 17.
Jinx.
Can you guys tell me and Joey literally looked at all this stuff right before we got here?
No.
Oh, well, I just saw that. I looked at that right before we got here, so.
Man, you don't gotta tell them that though.
I don't mind. I love the people that listen to us.
Bro, we on the same wavelength. That's all.
I love the people that listen to this. Yeah, Nets skeleton roster, exactly, Pixel. But you know what?
It's gonna get better though.
They're gonna end up getting rid of some of these guys. Tyshawn Taylor will probably still be there. Marshawn Brooks will probably still be there. Jordan Williams isn't too bad. He'll probably still be there. But I mean, it's one thin roster. They're gonna have to do the same thing the Heat did. You're gonna have to look for some veteran guys that are willing to take cheap salaries because they just want to play basketball and try to be on a competitive team.
Yep.
It's really that simple. So, I mean, unless anybody else has an opinion on the Nets, you can call in 201-430-2119.